Hello and welcome, Johnny Gonzalez, aka Upside Down Consciousness. It's good to finally make a video again. It's been a while. Hopefully, all has been well. Hopefully, on your own journey of healing and self discovery, you have been doing wonderfully. I wanted to touch on something that is going to make you think. And it has to do with our children, and it has to do with our future. Last night, I was in a contemplation thinking about how innocent children really are, and how it is us who corrupt them and take away their innocence from them by passing on traditions of lifestyles, by allowing them to consume these obstructing foods. And we're the cause for the destruction of our own race, and it is on us to change it. If we do not, then the process will continue to deteriorate, and man, as of today, will continue to get worse. Looking back on your own life, think about how you were introduced to how you live. You were introduced to how you eat, and that ultimately puts you in the position of where you're at currently. And chances are, most of us are suffering. Most of us have dealt with individual issues in life that have definitely altered who we are, how we live, how we think, how we act, etc. So, being a parent, I take this to heart, and I want to touch on that a little bit because I grew up standard American diet. I passed that to my children, and it wasn't until a couple years ago that I got out of that rat race and changed my life. But it's still a struggle because they have already been introduced to the bad foods. They've already been introduced to all of this reality of life that we currently live in that has created their own illusion of this world. And at some point, I find that as a parent, I'm responsible for that. So, looking at the situation at hand, it's very disturbing to want to take fault, at least from my end, because I'm battling constantly with this new paradigm of health understanding and the reality that our own our own society and government and everything associated with humanity is corrupted and evil in some shape or form, and that ultimately becomes problematic when you're trying to go the opposite way of the herd, because you put yourself in a position of an outcast. Now, referring back to the children, think of the innocence of a child. think how they're filled with love and joy and happiness. They don't have hate. They don't have anger. They don't have jealousy. They're not worried or stressed. They're just being. And along with that, look at their body's ability to move. Look how free and fluid their movement is. It's effortless. But as they age, it's taken away from them by us, by adults, by society. And they begin to turn into who we are. Now, I don't mean to make it sound as if we're all evil and bad, but chances are we're living a life that we probably don't want for them, especially in regards to health. And who else are we going to blame when it's our responsibility as parents to be the ones to protect them and to grow them and to assist them? So this is a difficult topic to touch on, because you have to self-check. You have to realize the position that we're in and fix it and make alterations to do that. But most are not necessarily capable yet to comprehend that. So we stay stuck. And it doesn't help when everybody's okay with self-destruction. Everybody's okay with eat what you want, do what you want, live how you want, be your own person, even if it's destroying you, even if it's aging you and it's killing you and it's giving you sickness and disease and cancers, etc. That's not right. That's not how it should be. So, coming back to my own children, it's difficult because I'm still new to this, and I'm still trying to get the people around me on board to understand that I'm not delusional and I'm not doing this for attention, or I'm not trying to fit into what the society is trying to make us to be in a little bubble. And that bothers people, and that will always cause conflict because of the fact that we're obstructed. We have this light that shines within us, that when you're eating all these dead foods and taking all these stimulants and wasting your life away working a 9 to 5 and eating and drinking and living in out of harmony with nature, that obstructs our light, and it causes us to have less clarity. It causes us to be connected with divine or source or God, and in turn it pulls us further to the dark side of life, which in turn causes bad decision, which causes anger, negative emotions, all things of that nature to occur within us. And we're in such a critical condition now that we think it's normal, and the abnormal has become the normal. Being overweight is normal. Being on all these medications is normal. Teaching your kids to live this lifestyle at an earlier age is normal. Watching kids just become zombies to these devices and consuming all these processed GMO sugar-rich foods It's normal, and it shouldn't be that way. But in order for it to change, we have to be the ones to take the initiative. And until that happens, you cannot expect change to occur. And each of us are fighting our own battles. As I mentioned with my children, who are 12, 6, and 4, it's a challenge because one, you have to look at the reality of what you're around most in your life is going to be more of who you are. So if you're around an environment that is standard American diet approved, and you're around an environment that it's, oh, let me have a device babysit my kid, and let's have them watch TV all day long, and let's let them eat whatever they want, you're gonna probably pass that on to them. Now, this is where, in my own personal situation, it's challenging because I've escaped that reality to realize that you can't eat that way. You can't live that way because of the fact that it causes you to destroy yourself. And most don't understand that. They don't get that because they're not in a position of suffering to change. So they feel that, oh, well, that's just you and you do what you want, but it doesn't mean you're right, though. But at what cost? Because now I look at it as everybody else is crazy. I'm not the one that's crazy. Because I choose to eat a certain way and live a certain way and improve myself and evolve myself, that is criticized. That is considered irrelevant. Like, it makes no sense. Yet, consuming all these dead foods, these meat, processed food, these foods that bring disease to our beingness, consuming all of these sugars and stimulants and drugs and etc., that is more acceptable. That's not how it's supposed to be. But the vast majority of individuals live that way. So again, back to the abnormal is the normal. They think that's okay. So where I'm coming from in today's video is simply to shake things up a little bit, because our kids are the future, and the way our society is set up currently, it's not going to be a pretty future for them. So we have to do something, and it starts with us as parents to assist in this push forward into a new life, to a new living style, to a new eating and nature how would you describe it, like a nature intuitive of life, where we have to connect back to how our ancestors lived before the invention of all this technology and the causes of the lifestyles that we live now. Like, we have to realize that the damage it's really doing to us. But sometimes the unlearning part is the most difficult part to change within, because we have been told completely the opposite our whole lives of what health really is. We've been taught the opposite, and I mean that's really, it's really unfortunate, because the evil in this world is it's real and they know what they're doing. And it's on us to awaken ourselves to this, to make change and to make the modifications in our life and to pass that on to our children to reverse this. If not, then you'll end up destroying yourself. We can't let that happen. So, moral of this video today is simply to just make you realize that if you have children, change things in a better perspective for them, because if you don't, the society and the environment and the atmosphere and the people of the world, they will mold them into a position of living that is not going to be in a line to their best interest. We'll leave it at that. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. Until next time, stay on your grind. Do what you have to do.